hello, good morning, good evening to everybody out there in the internet multiverse. It is I, DJ, a part of the NoSkill podcast, and I'm joined with my very esteemed and very handsome co-host, Mikey,
Hello there, dear viewers. It is I.
Adrian,
I am here too.
and Brandon.
Hey, I'm
How
cold.
are we doing today, gentlemen?
Just
All right.
great.
I feel like a freaking popsicle, dude.
We're a little chilly in the house.
Oh yeah, it's fucking freezing.
It's that winter front. It's coming in. It's coming to get us all. But anyway,
I'm so hype. Go ahead.
same. Besides shoveling, I could deal without that.
Oh, I
Yeah,
forgot you
I
live in
think
that
we
part
all.
of the state.
Yeah,
so.
we could deal with that. Nah.
Yeah. But anyways, gentlemen, fun topic today. One thing that that we all love, not just amongst the four of us, but I believe the greater community can sympathize and empathize with it too. Horror movies. Horror movies are something that I think we all take a little bit of interest in.
A little.
Oh, very much.
Yeah.
Oh, very much so.
I don't know if you know who you're talking to,
Which out of recording, Mikey actually wanted me to ask you something, which I'll ask later on in the show. But let's jump straight into it. I wanna ask you, Mikey. So horror movies, what got you started? Who did you watch? What are your most notable and not so notable titles that you like to watch?
Okay, so oddly enough, of all the people in the world to get me started on horror movies at a very young age, I was exposed to them by none other than my crazy ass grandmother. I love her to death, but by the time I was 12, I had seen every Friday the 13th, every Nightmare on Elm Street, every variation of the Leprechaun. Not that I'm older. It's not even a horror movie. It's just a fever dream. I had seen the one that really did fuck me up for a little while. Both of the original It movies, and the new ones are pretty good too. But and I gotta say, through the years, Nightmare on Elm Street has definitely stuck with me. I think they're a fantastic series. Some of them, worse than others, but we'll get into that later.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know what it is. Anything that's Dark Carnival or Haunted Asylum, I fucking love. Like House on Haunted Hill, Grave Encounters. I'm sure someone's gonna shit on me for saying this. I admit it's a terrible movie, but Killer Clowns from Outer Space, aesthetically pleasing
Yes.
every day of the
Yeah.
week.
Hell yeah.
That's bad. You remember the movie Monster Truck? That movie sucked.
That movie was great.
That movie was fantastic. Don't get me wrong, but that movie sucked.
It was a Dark Castle gem. How dare you? This is a late 90s horror movie. How dare you?
You know, I really think we should be asking that to whoever made it. Like, let's be honest.
Oh, they
That movie
had
was-
way worse titles than that. But before we side trail off, I think this is a good transitioning point into Siege, because you're part of the same story, my brother.
Oh, almost identical. As a matter of fact, I thought you didn't watch Jason Takes Manhattan.
Remember you were giving me shit because I was watching clips of it the other day.
Were you?
Yeah. Remember the boxing scene?
Oh shit, yeah, no, that's right. Oh yeah, that's right. And then that's what I asked you. Oh wait, I thought you didn't even watch that. Yeah, no, never mind. Man, that movie. I don't even want to get started on that movie. I don't even want to think about it anymore. Yeah, same story. I was like 4, and my grandma was like, "Hey, I'm going to bed. You want to watch horror movies?" And I'm like, "Sure." I don't really have a choice here now, do I?
Can't exactly say no.
Yeah, honestly. And even if I do, you're probably still gonna put it on anyways. It's funny. I'm
Pretty
the
much.
exact
No, I don't
opposite.
wanna.
Yeah. Go ahead, DJ.
No, I was just gonna go off of like, no, I don't want to. Puts it on anyway.
Yeah, I'm like legit. That's just kind of how it is. But I'm the exact opposite of Mikey though. I love the original. I thought it was hilarious. I thought it was a comedy. Yeah, that never bothered me at all. The one movie that didn't bother me when I was younger though, even though it was a lot later when I was a teenager, was Final Destination 3, I believe.
That
That
would
movie
fuck
That
us
still,
all up.
Ooh.
still fucked you up.
yeah, that
I don't
movie
know,
still
some-
sticks with me to
yeah.
today. I rewatched it the other day. Watched the whole movie fine, except for the gym scene. I do not like that one. That one makes me physically uncomfortable. But
I don't know. I've been on the freeway with you, and you're just like, nope, not sticking behind this moving truck.
He's got logs on the back. I've seen this
I-
part.
I don't mind big
Exactly.
trucks. I don't mind tomato trucks. I don't mind the fruit trucks. I don't mind like the big harvesters or tractors or anything. I do not like lumber trucks. I will avoid those at any cost. And Mikey,
What?
that was fine with us too.
Yeah, but you still do it. Like that's
Yeah,
a
I know.
real ass thing.
Yeah. I also have mad respect for the fact that that entire highway scene was completely practical except for the logs.
Yeah,
God,
I feel
I
like that
love
would have been dangerous.
Well, no, they tried it. It's just the fact that it didn't look as like the way they wanted it to, which to be fair, worth a shot. But you know, they still came out really good otherwise. But yeah, that's always stuck with me. Trying to think what other. 'Cause there's that that's always stuck. And a lot of horror movies didn't really bother me growing up though. I just remember loving a lot of them. Like I've seen every Saw except for Spiral, and that's because I've been told the varying things about it.
I feel like that one went really under the radar too. Like it just been released and everyone said, "All right, good luck. See if you
Yeah,
try it." I guess.
yeah, that's kind of the census I got from it too.
Like I did not
Love
know that
Saw
there
though.
was that many Saw movies. Like I one minute I watched Saw one with if you haven't seen Saw one at this point, I don't know what you're doing. But the iconic cut your own foot off at the end part to Saw six coming, and I'm like, wait a minute, it, did I skip something here? I didn't even know there was more than one, let alone six in the franchise, and I don't even know if there's more because there might be more at this point. But the
10,
last one I saw was
9,
Saw six. There's nine.
9. I
Oh
believe so.
my
Mhm.
lord!
You're right.
A couple of them are not even called Saw, like Spiral.
Half of them.
Yeah.
There's 3D, Jigsaw, and Spiral.
Oh yeah, I remember hearing about Jigsaw. I still have to watch that one.
I wanted to see 3D. I never got around to it.
Really? That's such a good bad movie.
I think I stopped watching Saw after like part 3, and then just never picked up it again.
That
I don't
soundtrack
blame
was
you.
heavy.
Part 3 sucked.
I
I mean, I don't
yeah,
want to say it
folks.
was a bad movie, but the main character just sucked. Imagine like, I mean, he is what the character is. He's an older dude that's just mad. Like that's the main character in a nutshell. He doesn't think rationally, he just complains, and I'm like, man, this is riveting. Gotta love it.
I've got some off recording comments about that one.
He's like, I'm gonna give you my
Anyways,
opinion when we're not filming.
anyways, what about you, Deej?
Horror movies. The first one that notably stuck out to me that actually did fuck with me, I would have to say I was like 7 or 8 years old, and I ended up watching Arachnophobia.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Classic.
That one.
Good man.
Arachnophobia terrified me and scarred me for the longest time, especially for like this little kid, like no more than 8 years old, thinking that spiders could have a hive mind mentality like that, and they're out to kill me. They're unkillable. So for one scene, one dude sprays bug killer on one of them, and it kept on moving. I'm like, I'm checking every inch of this house, and if I see one spider, I'm leaving. I'm out. I'm moving. I'm only
I
8, but I'm
still
out.
hate spiders to this day.
I don't hate spiders to this day now. Like if a spider's in my house, depending on what it is, you can chill and vibe, dude. But as soon as you're on my persons or in a certain vicinity to where I don't notice you, but then you just appear in my vision, my size 16 says I'm better than you.
That's basically what I do too. Like they could be across the room, I don't care. But as soon as you get at least 4 to 5 feet from me, you're getting the boot.
Like I
Yeah,
still
we
remember
live in the
one,
fields. We got some Australia shit out of here.
like
Yeah,
a
I thought I saw
spider
a
as big as your
recluse in the
palm.
garage once. That was crazy.
Yeah, I know the feeling. I live in corn. Literally, my backyard is a cornfield.
You live in
so-
corn.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
I
that's
get
all
it.
there is to it.
Children of
Brandon
the
is quite
corn.
literally a child of the corn.
Children of the corn. Good one.
Another
Boy.
classic movie.
Good one.
Can we talk about how many of those movies there fucking are?
Hold
Dude.
on, we still got to get through Deej and Brandon.
Yeah. All right, we don't have to talk about that. I don't want to
Wait,
think that's
there's
the
more
first
than
one.
one.
A lot.
What the fuck?
Whoa, we gotta have some words about that later, Brandon. Let me tell you, there's more than one.
Yeah,
Okay,
I started
DJ?
off. I started off with arachnophobia, and then if my fear of spiders at that point wasn't already, set in stone,
Eight-legged freaks.
I was just about to say that.
I knew it.
Hey,
Yeah, the
Because I
freaking
had
horror
my mom should try
comedy.
to
Let's
keep
go.
me she tried to keep me protected from like scary movies. She wanted me to live this very sheltered Christian life. But I had that one uncle, the cool uncle, cool in quotes. I mean, he did take me to my first concert, but he was just like, your mom's not here. We're gonna eat nothing but Kit Kats and Crunch bars, and we're gonna watch some dumb shit on TV. You down?
That's the way to do it.
Absolutely.
That was our grandma.
Yeah, that was our grandma. That's my childhood.
Yeah, honestly,
Kit
dude.
Kats and Crunch bars and horror movies. That's how you do it. That's how you raise
And
a
a Diet Coke.
Yes.
Cool.
To
Yeah,
watch
'cause you
your
can't have sugar with a Kit Kat.
But I watched Eight-Legged Freaks, and that I was already still scarred from arachnophobia to where I'm like, dude, no shot. I can't do this. Now, over the years, I've grown to love horror movies now to where, like, just like Mikey, all of the Friday the 13th, I've seen some of them better than others. And Nightmare on Elm Street, again, I have my opinions on certain ones that might be, different from other people's, but I still love the iconic characters of Jason Voorhees and Freddy Krueger. Those are my two favorite fictional killers. But when they came together and made Freddy versus Jason, I lost my shit. That was such a good
that
movie
was
to me.
wild.
Wild. Yeah.
The absolute masterpiece. The Infinity War before Infinity War.
Honestly.
And
That
a
was quite possibly
kick-ass
one of the
soundtrack
best movies
too.
ever.
It
Oh,
was because of that movie I discovered Spine Shank.
Yes.
Remember when
fair.
movies banger OSTs? What happened to that?
Remember when movies had just like their own soundtrack that was for that movie? Remember when
Yeah.
that was the thing?
Yeah.
That doesn't happen no more.
Or it's all ambience.
Yeah.
Or EDM.
Or
Nothing against
EDM.
EDM.
Yeah,
But
like
before I get to
like I found Slipknot through Scream 4's OST.
Well,
Yo.
do not get me started on Scream right now. I will talk forever.
Too early. It's too early.
It's too early.
Because I actually want to take this time to jump over to Brandon. Brandon, your horror movie kicks. What got you started?
Okay, I was
Okay, let's start
like,
with: have you seen a horror movie? Since you don't even know what party games are.
fuck you. Yes, I have. You dick. Anyways, man, I was like 3-4 years old when I first saw it, and horror movie. It was Silent Hill, the first one.
Yeah.
I will walk into my living room as a little Brandon, little kid, and see my parents watching Silent Hill around the corner, and I remember being so terrified because it was at the end of the movie with the scene of the girl on the table and the fucking barbed wire and all that shit. People fucking dying and
I
remember
know
being
you're giving a description right now, but I just felt old since that was your first horror movie.
yeah,
Fun
but
fact,
fucking
never seen it.
oh, now we gotta talk, sir. Fucking all right.
But before
right.
that goes, can we just take this time to appreciate when it comes to Silent Hill, a movie adaptation of a fucking video game?
Was good.
It was good.
Very good.
Yeah, I've only been told good things about it,
You haven't seen it?
making me not want to watch it. I
It
only
is
like
so
bad
good, though.
renditions of video games. Like, let's be honest. Yo, anyone remember Doom? That was a terrible movie.
That was terrible.
I love that
I
movie.
love that
though.
movie.
Yeah, it
Oh
was
my
good. It
God.
was
That
terribly
is
good.
The Rock's best
The Rock.
performance ever. What are you talking about?
That is the kind of video game movie I want. But anyway, moving on.
Remember the scene where they made it look like the video game?
I
Yeah.
remember that movie by heart.
That was a
dude.
rip-off of House of the Dead, though, because they did that in 95, I
True.
think?
True.
Six?
Oh,
Another-
I'm gonna fact check
yeah.
myself.
Another great bad video game movie.
House of the
I
Dead.
need to see that. I heard about
Oh,
it.
There's two of them,
Steve,
by the
are you-
way.
There's
And
two of them?
please
Yeah,
remind
Jake,
me
are you
about
not
the
aware?
second one later, because
this is
there's
the first
something
I'm hearing of it.
special about the second one.
Oh my! Oh, we're gonna have to have a movie night for these because they're so.
House of the Dead
interesting.
gets its own
We need to
10-minute segment
schedule a
this
movie
episode.
night, dude.
That's a request.
Anyways,
All right, let's continue with Brandon.
anyways, technically Silent Hill was my first one, but I didn't see the whole thing. I only saw the ending. But I would say the first actual movie that I sat through the whole thing was the first Resident Evil, and that sparked my love for the franchise even up till now. And from there, I thank my mother for this one. She is all about zombie, vampire, werewolf, all these types of movies, and I've seen all of them at this point. I feel like fucking goes to Underworld, fucking Van Helsing stuff, and all that other crap.
Dude, Underworld was so good.
It was so good, but yeah, that's it's basically my beginning of horror movies, and up to this day, shit, I still love them, even just watching casually. I mean, the other night I watched Ghost of War, and it was okay. Not the best like paranormal ghost movie, but whatever.
I wanted
I
to see
have
that
some
one.
opinions on those paranormal POV fucking horror movies in quotes.
It wasn't like a paranormal activity. It was an actual movie, but it was, I guess, ghost horror movie, whatever. But whatever. What
Start
would
with where
say
do we
your
want to start
guys?
now?
What would you guys say is like your favorite? Let's just go with franchise horror movies.
Franchise?
Yeah, like movies that have gone for ages at this point. We all know that there's a fuck ton of those.
Oh, for me, I would have to say, hands down, it's Friday the 13th. I love the Friday the 13th series just because of the lore behind everything was fantastic. And it just encapsulated, well, I can't exactly say it encapsulated, but call this a hot take. But for the longest time, when I would watch and rewatch some of these Friday the 13th movies, I was like, this is just a glorified anti-bullying campaign.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
They were
Except for
teaching
the
us lessons.
Adrian, correct me here. The first one.
I need more context.
I feel like the first one was what happens when someone has a psychological break.
Yeah.
Mm,
Yeah.
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 All right. Back to DJ. I can't even.
But yeah, the lore behind it. Plus, I loved the look of Jason because he wasn't like too over the top with like makeup or needing like some sort of facial aesthetic.
beginning.
Nothing against. Well, yeah, in the beginning, but like nothing against your Leatherfaces and Freddy Kruegers, where that's kind of their thing. But with Jason, it was just hockey mask, jacket, jeans, or for like number 2, potato sack and overalls.
It's also because part of it was his mom, so I do like the stylistic changes between them. I thought that was a nice touch. But no, I agree with you. I think that was a really good selling point because it was just, for the large part, a person.
Yeah.
You know? It wasn't a monster for a while. It wasn't like this crazy paranormal... A little bit it was a paranormal story, but not really. It was a dude.
That
I
didn't
really
seem to
like that.
die.
A dude
Yeah.
was pissed off.
Angry man. And you know, as stupid as that sounds, it worked. For
Angry
a lot
man.
of years, it worked.
But
Angry man want to make mom proud.
Angry man is angry.
hell, the same thing with Halloween. Fucking Michael Myers is an angry man with a mask.
Okay.
He is a man tasked with glorious purpose.
I will
For
admit,
anyone who knows the lore.
even though I've seen a couple of Halloween movies, I still don't know like the exact lore of like Michael Myers.
Well, there's
and who
4.
he is, or 4
Or
movies.
3. No, like 3 or 4 timelines. One of them
Okay.
doesn't exist. So we don't talk about that.
Oh, okay.
I mean, Halloween 3, the greatest movie of all time.
Season of the Witch, actually. Oh, I forgot. Actually, Halloween 3 was retcon, huh? Or was that 4? I don't remember.
Which is the one that Rob Zombie made?
Rob Zombie's
Halloween.
Halloween.
Okay. So I'm assuming that one's completely unrelated.
A little bit.
Okay.
I believe. Halloween is one of the series I love, but I just stopped caring about the lore because they all were.
I swear
mess.
it changed so much that you just lose track by like the fucking third one. It's like, oh well, it's Season of the Witch. It's probably nothing to do with Michael Myers at all. But
Season of the
whatever.
Witch is its own timeline. That's just a
Seriously.
fact. A fun
Okay,
fact
so
about
your
that.
favorite timeline then, if you could give me like a brief synopsis of Michael Myers, what would you say?
The OG one, because it was nowhere near as complicated.
Shit, yeah, OG one.
I need more because again, I don't really follow him. I know next to zilch about him.
Angry
than he's
man is
super tall.
angry.
Angry
Local
man,
man too angry to die.
angry
Local
man
man
trying to
too
kill his
angry to
family.
die.
Basically, that's all it is.
It's just one of those things where the premise is so simple that you can talk on and on about it. You can hypothesize, you can just theorize and do all those things about it, which which is what made it fun. It was such a simple premise that had a lot of things to it. I feel like it kind of lost that a little bit towards the end. I feel like it really did just boil down to angry man too angry to die. Like it really was. But the fact that he became like slightly paranormal at some point, or that he's the embodiment of evil, which I feel like was taken a bit too literally at some points. But that's my
What do you
opinion.
mean slightly? He's the well, spoilers for anyone who gives a shit. He's the embodiment of evil spawned by a cult.
Yep, that was the thing. Moving on from that though, I was gonna say, speaking of Season of the Witch though, the whole reason that movie exists is because they were trying to do something with Halloween, like a Goosebumps type thing, where Halloween 1 was going to be the Curse of Michael Myers. That's why it's called that. Halloween 2 was going to be the Season of the Witch. Halloween whatever was going to be the blank of blank. Needless to say, that failed monstrously.
I don't think it. I wish it didn't. I enjoyed the hell out of that movie.
You like Season of the Witch?
Yeah, I unironically love it.
Unironically, okay, but like,
I would like to leave this topic.
All right,
So now
moving on.
let's jump on to back to you, Mikey. Your favorite franchise.
Oh man, that is rough. I'm in a little bit of a tie because I was raised on these movies. My grandmother only likes action movies and horror movies, so I got to see a lot of them. And as much as I want to go with something newer, like oh man, the Annabelle series and stuff like that, because I very much enjoy paranormal, I gotta say, Nightmare on Elm Street is probably one of the greatest franchises of all time. Don't get me wrong; it has some very bad moments. It has some very terrible movies, but as a whole, it's so well. It's like enjoying what horror is. It doesn't hold anything back. It sends it every single fucking time, and I think that's its shortest falling. Because sometimes they send a really stupid idea. It just keeps going. There's 9 of these bad boys. 9 of them.
The concept behind it was amazing. A serial killer that attacks you through your sleep in your dreams, and that to me is genius.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
and then when they, oops, sorry, go for it.
I was gonna say, I think we should also premise that I presume we're all talking about the original Freddy Krueger.
Yeah.
Okay.
I like some of the concepts behind the new ones that aren't even that great because they tie real world issues that would actually happen into a horror movie very well.
I agree,
Like,
but I don't want to.
do
I
you
don't want to
remember-
enjoy a movie where that's the premise. You know what I mean?
Yeah, fair.
Do either of you guys understand what me and Mikey are talking about?
Not really. I never really
Not
got
quite.
past the fourth one.
For the safety of, our platform, I will not be saying it. I will be putting it in chat. So feel free to continue your point, Mikey, while I type this out.
All right, Mikey.
Sorry, did you say feel free to what? I couldn't hear you.
To keep talking.
Feel free to
while
continue
I
your
type it.
point.
Oh. Depending on I love stuff like that. Then I gotta say, as a whole, Nightmare on Elm Street, it just has it all for me. It does the supernatural theme. It does the slasher theme. It does some parts of it are really psychological and tension building. And I think as a whole franchise, it does all of these things that make horror really well. And it just edges out things because I got to give a close runner up to Alien. I don't know what it is. The Alien franchise is just so fucking good. I don't care what people say. I like the new ones too.
Yeah. Oh, excuse me. Yeah, I agree with you on that. There were some very interesting. Yeah, that's it, Deej. But yeah, there were some very interesting things that came out of that. It was a lot of fun. That was a fun time for movies.
Right.
It really was.
And let's be real. Some of the one-liners are fucking cinema gold. They're so good. Adrian, you know what I'm thinking of right now?
I'm thinking of a lot. Which one you hitting up?
Welcome to prime time, bitch. And he slams her head to the TV monitor.
One. I said that didn't I say that in a video, or did that recording get scrapped?
I don't know. I said it at work on Friday, and I'm very excited that I'm not being written up.
I say that a lot in my life. It's a shame that it doesn't occur more often. Mikey loves me. He can attest to that. I say it a lot.
Mr. England himself said that to one of the comic book men when he made a special guest appearance on their show for Ming's birthday.
Oh,
Yeah.
I remember that. Yeah.
It's a good line, especially since he's like explodes out of a TV and just pulls her through the screen.
He
And
becomes a TV. How dare you?
for anyone who hasn't seen that scene, look it up. Oh, yeah, you just gotta look up the phrase. YouTube will have it out there because
Yo.
it's so
Yo,
good.
10 points if you can remember what movie that was.
Was that Dream Warriors?
Yes, sir.
Yep. Oh, look, his superpower is he's slightly stronger than he was 5 minutes ago. This movie's going places, folks. Let's get hot. All right, someone take this away from me.
Adrian,
Right.
on to you. What your favorite franchise?
I can't pick a favorite franchise. I have like 4
Yeah, I'm running into that same issue here.
because immediately my brain was like, Final Destination was probably, if I had to rank them, I would say probably, I have a tie for number 1, and it's Texas Chainsaw Massacre and Saw.
Oh man, I Chainsaw Massacre's got a special place in my heart because something about
Oh,
a big dude in a skin mask named Bubba ripping a big old chainsaw around and chasing me down the street is genuinely terrifying.
depends on the movie, but yes, I agree.
There's
another thing
parts of the country that can actually happen.
Yeah, exactly.
True.
TJ looks out window suspiciously. Mm.
My neighbors have been looking kind of shady. They've been doing a lot of construction work on their porch.
Probably find a
Burying
body
bodies.
under there in the next few years. That's where all their lost mayonnaise is going. But thank you. What did I say? Oh yeah, time for number 1 probably has to be Saw and Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I can't pick a favorite between the two. The complexity and annoyingness and just like grisly reality of them are they're my favorite, especially when they become dark comedies at one point in both retrospects.
Yeah.
So good.
One thing
then-
I will say about Saw is that after a while it started taking itself way too seriously.
Do you think so?
I feel like the later ones were trying to be way deeper than they should have been.
Oh, it became a drama. Like, let's be honest, it became a drama.
Yeah.
I think that was hilarious.
I
don't know.
I don't know.
I
Maybe
also
I'm
might
wrong.
have a skewed view of things because remember we were talking with our friend how she's like, "Oh, I couldn't finish Midsummer; it was too gross." I'm like, I thought it was. I didn't know it was a horror movie. I thought it was a comedy. I was
still need to watch
laughing my ass off. I laughed so hard during that movie, dude. You have no idea. The person I was watching it with like stopped and they're like, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, because I was crying. And I'm like, I am laughing so hard on the inside. It is not even funny.
But I
Oh.
don't want to laugh out loud to make you think like, oh, you're just being a pussy or some shit.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't want to like interrupt the movie because I kind of hate doing that, especially in such a quiet movie. Because Midsummer doesn't have a lot of background noise. I feel really awkward just breaking it up like that. That's probably my favorite comedy of all time. That Midsummer is such a good movie.
A true Shakespearean tragedy, as it were.
Dude, it is the truest divine comedy I've ever seen in my life. Oh my goodness.
That is so funny.
See, that's why
But,
when people tell me like, oh yeah, you need to watch this movie, like this horror movie or this like horror/gore show because there were parts where I just couldn't look, and then I'm watching it like, this isn't nearly as bad as y'all making it seem. Like this is nothing in comparison. Have you seen Evil Dead?
yeah.
Oh, I love it.
Which one?
The
They're all
first
The
good.
original.
Yeah. Man, what a great series.
I relate to Ash way too closely, and I'm not proud of it.
Fair.
All right, Brandon, you've had a few minutes to think. Favorite franchise and why?
Fuck. It's kind of hard to pick. I think probably have to tie between two as well because I'm gonna have to say Friday the 13th and Resident Evil are tied for me.
Ooh,
Resident
hold
Evil
on.
is also just very good.
Hold on.
Ooh.
The
Oof.
IRL Resident Evils or the animated Resident Evils?
I'd say Both, but when it comes to the IRL ones, I'd say anything after the third one is like meh.
Okay, I'm glad you specified that. I really am. Because, boy, some of those got weird.
I'd say the
It turned
last
into-
one, literally, the action scenes were so sporadic that you didn't even know what the fuck was going on.
Yeah, it really
And-
became like Underworld after a while.
It really did.
And then Afterlife, it was okay. I did really appreciate the whole Wesker filming his glasses scene. I think that was a great touch.
That was pretty cool.
That was
pretty cool.
really cool. I enjoyed that, being a fan of the
Mhm.
games. But yeah, I'd say after the third one, it became kind of just a downward hill, just kind of
Steady
I-
decline.
steady
I do
decline.
appreciate the coin shot scene. That was so good,
That was
true,
really
that
cool.
was a
That
good
was a
one.
nice touch.
Yes,
especially with the hunch out on players represent.
but yeah, it's the tie between those two, and Friday the 13th is just one of those movies where I can always just go back and watch and still love it to this day. Sure,
Dude,
the later ones became a little iffy, but I did still love the series, especially when it became that Freddy versus Jason crossover. Oh,
Yeah.
and I'm just saying, second place is Nightmare on Elm Street for me.
I gotta ask, how do you feel about Jason X?
I wanted to bring this up.
The thing is about that one. Hold on. The thing is about this one is that I've only watched like half of that movie, so it's kind of like
Really?
yeah. I never.
You know what?
I never.
I don't
owned
blame
it.
you.
I never owned it. I never rented it. I've only seen like half of it from at a friend's house. So it's like, yeah. So I don't really have a full opinion of that one.
That's
To
the
be
one
fair, that-
downside with some
yeah,
of these
yeah.
some of these horror franchises is like sometimes you're just kicking a dead horse. Like you're just carrying on this you're carrying on this name just for the sake of horror movie insert name here. Like even though I love Friday the
disagree.
13th. You what?
I disagree.
Okay, talk on it because like I stated what I thought.
They shoehorned sci-fi into a dead comedy series. Like, what about that isn't hilarious at a base level? It's not a good slasher slasher flick. It's not good
Nice.
sci-fi movie. It's just so bad at being both of them. It is hilarious. And then, like, this spoiler alert from Jason X for anyone who hasn't seen that shit. When he turns into Mecha Jason, it is the best thing in the entire franchise.
Yeah,
It's
that was
so
good. That was
They
good.
have okay, I'm just gonna say it because I don't feel good about this sentence at all. They have a sexy cyborg ninja fully clad in leather with like belt fed shotgun machine gun things. They're not even like real A12s. They're fake as shit. It's great. And she goes to war with Mecha Jason, and they're like ripping down walls and doors and shit, like ripping limbs off each other. It's such a mess. It's such a fucking mess, and it's beautiful. It's a train wreck.
See, that was my biggest thing. It's like when it comes to horror movies, I want to see that horror aspect. Can I still enjoy it because it's ridiculous to the point of it's comical? Absolutely. That's how I see the entire franchise of Scream. I just find it so ridiculous that it's funny.
Well, that's because it, in its essence, I don't want to say it's entirely meant to be that way, but it is a large part meant to be that way. It is a very
Yeah.
I could talk about Scream forever, which is
that's
insane.
those
in my top
movies and even the show that was on MTV tend to be very meta with itself. And it's really it's really weird.
That really was the point, and I don't even want to think about 3. I want to erase that from my memory. If I could remove one block of memory from my brain forever, it would be the time span of Scream 3. I don't want to think about that movie ever again. And I was reading my Google News the other day, and there's an article that said, we have to admit that Scream 3 was a good movie. Fuck whoever wrote that article, you're wrong. That was a bad movie. There's no getting around it. You need to be fired, and I don't want to see you write anything ever again.
It was terrible, but it wasn't even a bad terrible. It was just bad.
It was just bad.
Not even a good
Scream 4, however, pretty good. That was a good revival.
Yeah,
I am
good. Kayla's
interested to
soundtrack
see
is
the
sick
new
as
one.
well.
Yeah, I saw
Hey, soundtrack.
I saw a preview for Scream 5 today, and even I'm just a little curious. Just
Wait,
because
they're making a 5th one?
yeah, and they
Yeah.
brought back some of the old cast.
Yeah,
I
Like,
gotta see the
basically-
trailer.
Basically,
I'm
everyone
very
who
interested.
survived is back.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
very
I'm
interested
just
because
glad to see David Arquette back.
I'm very like invested into the franchise because I've seen all of them. So I'm like, fuck it, I need to see the fifth one. Damn.
Yeah. Oh, I'm really excited for that.
All
Actually,
right. So
speaking of
Huh?
actually, real quick. Speaking of which, movies that or franchises that kind of went on a downward spiral, I want you guys' opinion on something. What was your opinion? Because I know people that say they still like it, even in the future or more recent movies. What's your opinion on the franchise Child's Play, or better yet, known as Chucky?
All right.
I'd have to honestly say with Chucky, it's not. And this is just my personal opinion. It's not absolutely fantastic, but it's also at the same time not horrible. I think my problem is I can't wrap my mind around a murderous toy.
Oh, you
Yeah.
see the Puppet Master series,
Don't-
but
you don't know Annabelle.
Puppet Master
Yeah.
did it better.
Did it?
Master, yeah.
I think it did.
Did it really?
Maybe.
I think it did.
I feel like those are two series that are trying to cheat off of each other's papers. Like,
I think it's the one-liners Chucky drops. It makes it feel like a really dark comedy, and I can't fucking take this movie seriously.
maybe, I don't know. The John's Play. To answer your questions, Brandon, the John's Play series is probably the most okay franchise ever. Where you're like,
Yeah.
that was a movie.
Like
You
that
know?
was something that
Definitely
we saw.
gotta agree with you on that one.
Like,
Yeah,
I think
it's
my
just like,
favorite one
I'll watch
for
it.
yeah, I think my favorite one for the Chucky series was Bride of Chucky.
Okay, that one is pretty funny.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
was
yeah.
pretty funny. Yeah.
Especially when they were trying to get pregnant and he holds up the cup.
Yeah.
Like, no shot that they did this in a movie about a toy trying to have sex. Oh God. Okay. But that like the Chucky series is just kind of it's there for me. Like I can watch it. I'm not gonna absolutely hate it, but I'm not gonna sit here and be like I can't wait for for another one. If that
Yeah.
makes any sense.
It's
It
a
angers
solid
me
6 out of
that they're
10.
making more.
What'd you
Nope.
say, Adrian?
I said it angers me that they're making more Child's Play stuff. That's like speaking about what you guys said earlier. I don't remember if it was you or Brandon. That's a series that's gone on too long. Child's Play.
Yeah, I feel that should have ended a long time ago.
Didn't they
Yeah.
just drop a new one?
They dropped a new movie,
Yes.
but now they're making a TV show on Hulu, I believe.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I gotta at least watch the first episode.
Like, when do you think
Yeah.
it should have ended, honestly?
After the first movie.
Fair enough, yeah.
Like, to be honest, that's a premise where you're like, oh man, that was a good one. I want a sequel, but the sequel never comes out. And you just respect that that first movie was a good idea. That's the vibe I get from Child's Play / Chucky. Granted, Bride of Chucky was good. I think if only those two movies were made, the series would be way better than what it is.
Yeah, because Seed of Chucky was not the. It was,
I don't want to think about that movie.
yeah, no. No, thank you.
Ugh.
It was just so over the top ridiculous that it was funny. Like I thought Chucky was absolutely funny.
Yeah, that's fair. Speaking of a series that it's not gone on too long though, Hellraiser. I want more,
God.
Oh, God, yes.
The one that
and
defies the
we're
odds.
getting more.
Yeah, is it
It
the new one, the
keeps
female lead?
The new movie, I believe,
Yeah.
is.
Wait, don't tell me that's
Um,
also getting a series.
Okay, so if I'm not mistaken, Hulu's making a movie, and I'm not qualified nor educated enough to comment on whether or not the main actor is a woman or trans. I've gotten conflicting things about it. But mad respect to them for getting the role. I'm very excited to see what they bring to the table.
Absolutely.
But like I said, I
Yeah.
believe it's Hulu that's making the movie, and HBO Max is making the series. I may have that backwards, but I'm pretty positive that's how they're doing it. And the two properties are being made separately from each other.
So
There's
it's
no
going to
collusion
have
going
their
on
own
from
little
what I'm aware.
touch to it.
Yeah, from what I'm aware, yes. So they're each going to have their own pinheads. They're each going to have their own stories entirely, from what I believe. So I'm very excited for both of those.
Yeah, I'm very curious of anything. I'm especially with the series because I know the Scream one. It I'd say it was mixed reviews. I'd say a lot of people say it was really good, and other people say that it was terrible. I don't know. When it comes to horror movie series, it's always like touch kind of like 50-50 if they're gonna do it well or if they're gonna do their own spin on it but make it good.
Yeah, it's funny too because I could never bring myself to watch the Scream series because I can't bring myself to watch anything MTV makes. I'm just gonna say it. I can't.
Yeah, fair enough. That is a
Fair.
very valid point.
There's a period of time where MTV was good. That time has passed.
When it was
Well
music,
past.
when it
Yeah.
was actually music TV.
Yeah.
Then we had to move over to Fuse.
Oh no.
No.
Or what was the one that was like a pink and purple triangle? Was that Fuse? What was that? What am I thinking?
Why are we talking about this?
Yeah, that's a good point. Let's just get away from this. I don't want
I
to.
was
go
about to
down
start
this.
talking about
Alright.
watching Headbangers Ball for 2 hours. I forgot.
Same.
Okay,
What
so
were we talking about?
I
so
don't know.
let's flip it. So we've touched upon our favorite franchises. Now let's give our opinions and takes on in our own personal opinions the worst franchise you've seen, or at least the one you wish didn't happen or the world could have done without.
I can give you my personal opinion right now. We just talked about it.
Hold on. Can I give more than one answer, or does it have to be the most?
Absolutely, trust me, I want to know.
All right, let's hear
Ooh.
Adrian.
Children of the Corn, Puppet Master.
Hey,
Oh,
What?
oh, we need some context, not just the name. So what do you
No,
have
I'm,
against
I'm,
children?
I'm, s- what do I have against Children of the Corn? Outlanders. That's what I have against Children of the Corn. Where was I going? All right. Puppet Master. Again, it just feels like it's so schlocky. It's funny, and it's stop. Just stop. What else don't I like? I don't like all the carries. I feel like after a while they get the.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm gonna. I don't know if I want to say this one actually.
go ahead.
I like the movies, but I don't like the franchise. Wrong Turn.
Wrong turn.
I've
you guys
never
Yeah.
heard
know
of
Wrong
this.
Turn is?
I've never heard of this.
What?
You guys have. What? Okay.
DJ, you live in Wrong Turn.
You do.
Well, keep talking. I gotta Google this now.
Oh my god. Okay.
DJ, the man, the myth, the legend is in a Wrong Turn movie, and Mikey knows who I'm referring to.
Oh yeah.
Oh my god,
Oh.
there's so many.
Yep.
Holy
Let me-
shit!
Let me tell you, 1.5 of them are good.
So
And I'm
part
assuming
one
the
and
one
half
is
of
the
two.
first one.
Yeah, Brandon's pretty much right. Part 1 and half of 2. The rest are a mess.
Oh, the first one's got Eliza Dushku. Hey, girl, what's up? Shout out. Sorry.
Wait, Mikey, actually, is 2 the one I'm thinking of, or is 3 the one that has him in it?
I'm double checking that right now because I don't remember what they are by names.
I remember the first 2, Dead End and Left 4 Dead. I don't remember the ones that I'm gonna assume it's like something beginnings and Bloodlines. Or am I confusing that with Hellraiser? I don't know.
Yeah, you were confusing that with Hellraiser. Oh no, Bloodlines is 5,
Okay.
and then Last Resort is 6.
Horror movies have this thing where like
Adrian,
every
it
single
was
sequential
2.
movie has the same titles. It was 2? Okay, it was 2.
Yeah.
So it was Dead End. Okay.
Do you want to just go over what 2 is? Because the premise of 2 is Actually, explain the franchise to the boys since they don't know.
Cannibal Appalachian Mountain Men.
Okay.
That's the premise of the movie.
Oh, they just dropped another one too. Earlier this year.
Yeah,
yeah.
they did a
It's
revamp
relaunch.
or a relaunch. Yeah, I genuinely don't have any feeling towards it at all. I don't
I
think
haven't
it's
seen the
good.
new one.
I don't think it's bad. I don't even think it exists. I don't know how to feel about it.
It's got a 64% on Rotten Tomatoes and a 5.5 on IMDb, and Fandango's
See?
in the low 40s.
See,
Fucking
the average of those three is about 50%.
Yeah.
It's a movie. It exists.
It's there.
Yeah, if you want to watch it, you can. I wouldn't recommend it, but I
Can
won't
I
say
do a
it's
quick
not
explanation on
watch it.
2, since we're going to gloss over that?
Oh, yeah, you can go ahead and do 2. I feel like I remember the bad parts of 2 more than the good parts.
Okay. So, Wrong Turn is If the Hills Have Eyes had a B movie knockoff. That's it. That's the whole franchise. It's crazy backwoods people who have been isolated from the world for X amount of years. They're all mutated and messed up, and they're cannibals. Simple premise. But where 2 takes a turn is, instead of people broken down in a car or they got lost on a camping trip, they're on a apocalypse survival game show hosted by none other than the legend himself, Henry Rollins. And he's supposed to be this badass outdoor commando who's all jacked and angry all the time. And he's like, "You will not survive this game if you do not have the will to live." And he's just grinding these people like a drill sergeant. And they have to play games like Survivor on TV.
It
But
was
the hillbillies
basically
show
the
up and start
premise.
killing everybody.
It was the beta. It was the cold open for Stone Cold's new game show.
Oh, the Broken Skull Challenge.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, brother.
It's basically what it was. That movie's so, like I said, I remember the bad parts of that movie more than the good parts.
Well,
That
halfway
movie's-
through the movie, they lose all of the cast. Oh, well, most of the cast. There's one girl and one guy, and then the guy ends up eating the girl's leg, and he throws up everywhere.
What the fuck?
Oh, good.
Yeah, they set up some really dark humor in it, but so that guy ends up taking an arrow through the eye while he tries to save one of the girls,
Yeesh.
and the girl gets away, and Henry Rollins goes to war with all of the mutant hillbillies. I'm talking getting arrows with dynamite tied to them and blowing them up, making these crazy contraptions out of like concentrino wire and making garrotes out of it, and just like choking them out. It is a bloodbath of Henry Rollins versus Hills Have Eyes looking ass people. And in the end, spoiler alert for a movie from 2007, he doesn't make it, and then the girl takes all of his lessons and kills the rest of them and like makes it to freedom. It's such a fucked movie. It's so bad.
Yeah, those movies.
Oh, I gotta watch these now.
You have to see that
Dude.
one at the very least
You
to
have
respect to
to.
Henry. He's so good in it.
They're,
Dude,
like I said,
Henry
1.5 of those
treasure.
movies are good.
No, 1, 2, and 3 are pretty solid in my opinion.
Do you really think 3's good, or
3's okay.
it's okay?
4 was pretty weak. 5 was pretty weak. 5 felt like it was made on like a $500 budget, and 6
Dude,
was
5
kind
was
of.
shot with MTV cameras. It was bad.
I haven't seen the last one.
Dude,
What was the
it's-
question? I think I had a headache. I passed out for a little bit
Yeah,
there.
worst
In your
They were
horror
asking-
franchise.
Yeah, they were asking me to explain the worst horror franchises. I had to start listing them off because I hate a lot of franchises.
So then, Mikey, the franchise you wish never graced the world.
Leprechaun.
I was gonna
Really?
say that.
Yeah, they're quirky, they're funny, and they're supposed to be a horror movie. They're God, dude, they're so bad. And
I
like, hold
think-
up, I'm gonna bring up some titles
Yeah.
right here because hold up,
The titles are the best.
I think it should
my.
have stopped after the first one.
Okay,
Ugh.
sorry about that. I almost soft locked my computer because I'm an idiot.
Nice. The Leprechaun movies are great because they're just one of those movies where you can tell they were like, we have a budget. Let's use it.
If we have extra money, let's just slap something together.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Like, okay, for those of you who have never heard of this movie, Leprechaun is about a leprechaun and people steal his gold, but he's evil, so he doesn't just steal it back, he fucking murders them in hilarious, awful, magical ways. Like, and does anybody want to guess how many of these movies there are?
I can tell you how much they are because I'm a degenerate.
7.
I'm gonna say 4.
Ooh.
Adrian, you want to put in a
Wrong.
guess?
I know there's 8.
There are 8 of these fucking movies. They have stolen gold from this leprechaun 8 times. And 2 of these movies have a pretty dicey name. Let's go down the
Yeah.
list.
Isn't
Leprechaun.
one of them have
what's that?
iced tea in it?
We're going to get to that in just a moment.
All right.
That's the
There's
names.
Leprechaun, Leprechaun 2, Leprechaun 3, Leprechaun 4 in space, Leprechaun
Good movie.
5 in the hood, Leprechaun
Oh,
2
boy.
back to THA hood,
Back to the hood.
Leprechaun Origins, and Leprechaun Returns.
Have not seen the last 2. I refuse to watch them too.
So bad. This leprechaun just
hood,
keeps
back
showing up
to
places and
the
killing
hood.
people. Yeah,
Like,
I
what are
will
you
n-
just gonna realize? Stop stealing this dude's shit.
I'll give you one guess to which one Ice-T is in.
In
Uh,
the hood.
In space.
Yep. In space. I wish.
That would have made that movie way
Would have been a
better.
better movie.
Yeah. I will forever have the image of the leprechaun wearing shades ingrained into my memory for the rest of my life.
Oh,
That
no.
image will be forever lasered into my.
Brandon, you forgot one character that was in there. And this guy wasn't playing a character; it was a cameo as himself. Do you want to guess who it was?
Fuck, I think I know what you're talking about too. I'm
In
drawing
the
a
hood ones?
blank. Go ahead.
Yep. Coolio.
I
He
was
cameos
just
in
gonna
this.
Coolio.
Why
I was like,
wouldn't
it's
he?
either gonna be Coolio or it's gonna be Snoop.
It's the Leprechaun movies. They couldn't afford Snoop.
Because I know Snoop
Yeah,
also
that's
makes
right.
his own horror movies that are like
Those are great movies.
very.
Yeah, there's something.
I love how in both of them it's Keith David as the fucking devil, and I'm very okay with this.
I love that man. He's a gift to this world. You all know me, Reverse Giraffe.
The Arbiter.
Best cameo ever.
Pretty good.
Keith David's a gem. But yeah, it's like I don't know the first thing about the I've heard of the Leprechaun movie, but I did not know what the hell it was or what it was about. All I know is I was like, they made a movie about a leprechaun. I don't know how interesting this is gonna be.
Oh, it's fascinating.
It's supposed to be a horror comedy, but it's not even funny. It is just tragic. It is a slow dumpster
Yeah.
fire train hitting a Honda Odyssey full of people. It
Yeah.
is pure tragedy.
It's something, all right. Yeah.
It's like setting a trash can on fire because you're bored. It's funny, but like then you're kind of sad because you're like, man, this is all I have to do. Like, there's nothing
This is
else
my
interesting
life.
going on in my life.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what watching those movies is like.
Like
Yeah.
this is just gonna be a time killer, and that's it. Other than that, I wish I could be doing quite literally anything else with my time, but I have this.
You gotta
We
give it to Mr.
unfortunately do.
Davis, the man who played the Leprechaun. He got them to sign him back for 8 movies. Good for him.
Did he do all of them?
I'm pretty sure he did all of them.
Oh, props to that man.
Props, dude.
Oh, I gotta look up who the actor
I
is.
wonder how much money they had to shell out to get him on every single one of them, increasing after every fucking one.
I don't know because if I remember correctly, like 2, 3, and 4 were all released within a year of each other.
Holy
Damn!
shit!
I think it was like 2 a year, 3 a year, 4 a year. I think.
Fuck, dude. What the hell?
Okay, so they didn't get him for the last 2, but those were also 10 years later and different screenwriters.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, Warwick Davis. I know this guy.
Yeah,
he
and
did
they
6 of 8
they
of
were-
these dumpster fires.
Yeah, they released 93, 94, 95, 96. Eesh.
One of my cousins, I love him to death, but he was so afraid of these movies for the longest time, and
I thought
The
that
guy-
was really weird.
yeah, and he's hardcore. Like, this kid grew up in it. Afraid of the Leprechaun, though. Thought he was about to rip his insides out of his belly button, and I don't know why. That wasn't even in the movie.
That's a good point.
He's gonna kick my ass next time I see him. He's got like a foot and 300 pounds on me.
Be fine.
I don't think I could take him.
I know I couldn't.
Anyways,
God, I
can we
just
get
want
off of my leprechaun fever dream?
dude. I at least want to. I'm just gonna say this right now. I'm gonna take a day, and I'm going to watch every single one of them. I have to now, just because I that and Wrong Turn. I need to see this.
You just gotta watch Wrong Turn too, man. That's the best one.
That one I'm
Yeah,
looking forward
one.
to.
Yeah, you don't really need to watch
Yeah.
one.
Yeah.
All right,
Just
so
watch two.
Brandon,
Don't watch the rest.
Anyways,
Brandon, the one that you wish never graced the world.
Paranormal
Well, he said
Activity.
Leprechaun.
Paranormal Activity.
What?
I heavily agree with.
Come on.
I'd say the first first one's okay. Then everyone after that was kind of eh. I didn't really enjoy them. They're just
Really?
I find them really
Every
dumb.
single one of them after that.
Just say it, smartass. I can already hear it in your voice.
Mm, really? You didn't like
Go,
any of the ones after that?
go ahead, say it.
Come on. What was it called? Like the marked ones? Was that the one?
Yes.
Come
The
on.
marked
You're
ones.
telling me you didn't like that movie?
I
Was it too?
stopped. I
Is
stopped.
this the night we get canceled?
I stopped watching after like the third one.
Okay, then you can't even say, Brandon. You need to watch Paranormal Activity, the marked ones, please. I'm begging
Do I
you.
though? Do I?
Yes, you do. Yes, you do.
Wait, wasn't number 3 the one that like the culty one?
Yes. They're all the same timeline.
Yeah. See, I never cared for it just because outside of Blair Witch, I do not care for those like POV type horror movies like Paranormal Activity or Cloverfield, where it's like somebody's actual perspective of something bad happening, and it's all
Yeah, I
through this
hate
one
that.
video camera.
I hate that.
Some
Yeah.
videos do it well.
Some, yeah, but not all of them.
Like, I respect the dynamic of Paranormal Activity. Like, some of it's captured footage that the husband is capturing on this video camera. Then, when they're sleeping on the security cam, when the wife starts having these weird spastic episodes, and she starts like getting up in the middle of the night and moving. I was like, that's actually a bit of all right, but maybe it's because my lacking fear of ghosts, I couldn't take it seriously.
Yeah, to be
Yeah,
fair,
we don't have that issue over here. Everybody on this side of the Discord call is definitely afraid of ghosts.
Yeah.
You weren't here for that episode. It's an unspoken rule. You don't fuck with ghosts.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, DJ's Mexican too, so he understands. I'm
Yeah.
sure he agree. Like, it's not even a question. If someone's like, "Hey, you want to do a Ouija board?" No, I'm good.
Oh hell no! Like, not
Yeah.
only am I leaving your
Hell
house,
no.
we're not friends
I'm not
anymore.
afraid of ghosts, but I ain't touching a Ouija board.
Yeah, exactly. It's not even a thought in your mind. Your body's just like, no.
Like, I don't touch Monopoly board. You think I'm gonna touch a Ouija board? No, suck my ass. I'm out.
Fair.
Fuck this barbecue. I'm going home.
But
man, fuck it.
But
Yeah.
really quickly though, I am begging the two of you, because for reasons I will not explain,
Can I do it?
Yeah.
I am not going to be the one to say them. So you feel free.
Don't worry, I'm very good with my words. I'll be careful. I'll be reserved. You don't know the script, man. I'm trying not to just call out our cousins like that because.
Okay.
Okay. What? What?
Go on.
Go. Okay. I was trying to be nondescript because let's face it, that movie is a little close to home for some of us, and I don't want to be people be canceling me because they're not all like that. Are sure? Are you positive? But
Let's get on with this description before we, yeah.
do we want to?
Yeah, I'm down. I would love to hear more.
All right.
Yes.
So everybody knows that the cult of witches does that. That's common knowledge. So they're like, we'll help you out. And I believe the cousin is Hector. I'm pretty sure that's his name. Goes and gets some backup, and a truck full of guys wearing khaki pants, flannel with one button done, and bandanas, armed
Oh,
with baseball bats and shotguns.
Yes.
Show up, and I shit you not, they have an old West cowboy style shootout with a coven of witches trying to summon a demon.
What the fuck?
What a good movie.
100 Ways to Die in the West essay.
Dude, now that's what I call content.
Oh,
Okay, so
fucking
even
hell.
though I don't care for the Paranormal Activity franchise either, I think I'm sold on this one. I have
It's
to
such a
watch
good
this
movie.
one.
You guys need to. It's so good, and there are gonna be parts in it where there's such bad writing. You're gonna just piss yourself laughing.
The dialogue feels painfully accurate sometimes. It really does.
It is. I feel like this was a fanfic. Is that just me?
It feels like it. It feels like it did feel like a fanfic a little bit.
Paranormal Activity fanfic from fucking oh my god, from a fan who's way too close to home, man.
Also, I looked it up. Does anyone want to guess what the Rotten Tomato score is on this movie?
I'm gonna
I'm
say
guessing
like below.
36.
Yeah, I was gonna say below 40%.
High 80s.
DJ is so close. It's 39% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Bullshit. Bullshit. Lies.
Yeah. That
Damn it.
movie is so, which is funny because on IMDb it has a 5 out of 10, so higher than 39. But
No.
still, that
the one
movie
good
is
thing-
so good.
The one good thing about Rotten Tomatoes is just like the lower the rating that they give, the funnier the movie probably is. They just don't see like the humor in it, even if it's like terrible that it's funny.
Yeah, that's pretty true. Oh, that
got
movie is a gift.
I gotta get this is going on the list. This is on the list now next to Wrong
we
Turn.
got a list. At this point, we gotta have movie night. Come on.
The boys are just compiling a list of terrible movies they need to watch.
To traumatize each other with.
Oh,
All right, so since Brandon stole my answer, uh,
yeah, bro.
mine is a tie between two, and one of them isn't even because they're bad movies. It's because I am so lost in the lore, I don't know what's happening anymore. The first one, though, going back to Possession / parts of POV movies, but the Insidious series.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see it.
I enjoy
Didn't
him.
care for it. Like didn't care for it. The kids possess all this other shit. Maybe it's a cultural thing, but as soon as I find out my neighbor has a possessed child, I'm leaving. I've moved
Yeah.
already.
You move.
Yeah,
That's
you
all there is
move.
to it.
Not to the end of the block. I'm moving states, and I mean the other side of the country state. And even then, I'm bolting my door.
Yeah, I agree. I wasn't. It's neat, but I don't know. It's just one of the series that's just like
You're there.
it's whatever.
Yeah.
You know.
Like we had some extra budget. People are digging this whole ghost possession thing. Let's make another one.
Yeah, like
It's
when I
funny 'cause
first
I hear
saw
nothing
it.
but good things about him.
Yeah, because when I first saw it as a kid, it did scare me a good bit, but like as an adult, I watched it again. I was like, well, it's all right. It's nothing too
Yeah.
crazy. And after
Like,
I
I
found
know.
out that the first one, the main, I guess, ghost or demon was basically just a guy with lipstick all over his face, and I was like, yeah, that's kind of. Now that's like funny. Now I can't take you serious anymore.
Yeah, I agree. It's one of the series where it's popular and you can see why, but I don't know. They're just like whatever.
Like if it's on, I'm not gonna like leave the room in disgust. I'll sit there and watch, but by no means am I like enthralled with what's happening. But if if the group's there and we're having a good time, I'm not gonna ruin the mood.
Yeah, I
Mhm.
agree.
But then the other one, and I'm again preface, I'm not saying the movies are bad. I'm saying because the lore is so convoluted and what's tied to where, I've lost track. Is absolutely anything and everything to deal with Annabelle. Because we have
Oh.
the Annabelle movies, you got The Conjuring, you
Yeah,
got
Leon
The
Medieval,
Nun, La,
Conjuring, all that
La
stuff, yeah.
Llorona, and I'm like, this all ties to this one fucking doll. I've lost track of what's happening now.
Well,
Seriously, honestly I couldn't fucking get that from any of those movies. I'm sorry.
Oh.
When it
Sorry.
comes to those movies, the lore escapes me most of the time.
Like they're good
It-
movies. Sorry, Mikey.
Oh no, I was gonna say, Adrian, do you want to weigh in here, or am I gonna go just
I mean, to be
shooting off my
fair,
mouth again?
I already gave my premise on this whole thing in the last episode we did. They're good, but And DJ, I'm gonna say this. Did you watch the last episode where we talked about this kind of stuff? Where
I
I
haven't
gave
seen
my
it yet.
feel on how Okay, so I'll give you the long and the short of it.
All right.
The only they're good movies. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But the only one that like really makes me want to watch it is the Curse of La Llorona.
Yeah,
But
I saw that.
I would want to watch it with somebody who understands. But I also wouldn't want to watch that with somebody who understands. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because it's one of those things where it's because the whole Amityville Conjuring thing, it's good. It's a good premise. Don't get me wrong. But the only one that just really makes me want to look into it is that because that really hits home for us. We always hear about that as kids. Like that was
Yeah.
that was a part of ghost culture for us. And like Brandon, I told Brandon last time, I would want to watch it with somebody who understands that that's a part of our culture. That's not just a ghost movie at that point. But I would hate to watch it with someone like that because then I would have to hear the 1,000 stories about when they were kids and they were hanging out by the lake with their cousins at night and they heard a woman crying. And I'm like, dude, I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear that same story for the literal millionth time in my life. That would
Mhm.
that would ruin it for me. That would turn it back because the movie would turn it from a life experience to wow, that was actually a good horror movie, and then talking about it would turn it back into a life experience. I'm like, I don't want to deal with this anymore. I
I'm
don't want
already
to do.
traumatized.
I don't want. I don't want to think about this no more. But no, like that series of movies is good, but I don't know. There's just something about them that's it feels
It-
feels weird. I don't know.
And again, I'm not saying they're bad movies before I get criticized and chastised.
Yeah, me neither.
But
They just feel
like
more like thrillers.
they feel like thrillers, but I think for me, it's like I'd have to watch them not by date of release, but their actual timeline, chronological order. So that way, maybe kind of like watching the Marvel movies, where you had to watch them in the correct sequence. Maybe if I watch them in the actual correct sequence, it will make sense. But at this point, there are so many movies that surround like this one universe. I'm not gonna say overwhelmed, but I'm like, this is
It's a
deep.
bit annoying. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's the big issue with me is just that I'd never seen any of them in any sort of chronological order, and I honestly the whole thing just makes kind of no sense to me at times. I'm just trying to figure out the pieces and try to put them together, but it's like a mess.
Yeah, it
Hmm.
is like that a little bit. Now let's hear this from the person who actually likes these movies, Mikey.
Yeah, no, I'm sure I've been out loud, like sighing and moaning the whole time. If I
Yeah.
have, I
Yeah.
haven't meant to. So, ladies and gentlemen, time for a hot take. I think these movies are fantastic. I think they're very well put together. And what ties 95% of this franchise together isn't Annabelle, isn't the nun, it's the lady, the couple. I don't know why I just wanted to single out Lorraine. Ed and Lorraine Warren, the
Lorraine is
characters,
Lorraine.
and
Yep.
based off real life people who run the haunted supernatural museum where they go on finds,
Yeah.
find whatever the cursed item is, bring it back and seal it behind glass because apparently that keeps in the spirits.
Yeah.
Um,
Fun fact, real quick. That museum, the Warren Museum, actually here where I live in Connecticut.
Oh yeah, huh?
Oh, yeah.
Fuck.
Yep.
No skill road trip.
I'm down.
I'm not going over there.
I want to put a
That was a
I want to
good
put a
fucking-
GoPro on DJ and just watch him walk through the house.
We could check
Gonna
out
be
the haunted
shaking the whole time.
insane asylum on the way.
I don't think
Now
I
that
can
I
do
will
one.
do.
That
I will do.
That I'm not doing.
It's like I'm not going to the psych ward. I'll go to the psych ward, but that doll though, nah, fam.
I don't know. There's something about psych wards that gets me.
All right, but
Anyway.
anyway, so Mikey,
What ties most of the films together is those two people. They investigate a lot of. They're in most of the movies, and the ones they're not, it's the spirit from that movie shows up later in the timeline. You'll actually see like quick nods and occurrences to where they won't even be in their disguise; they'll be in their original form from the previous movies. I don't care what anybody says. Everyone shit on The Nun when it came out. I thought it was fantastic. I think it was so refreshing to just be an old school style horror movie. It didn't do with all the fancy trying to make it look as real as possible. It tried to look like a horror movie. The lighting was dark. The ambience was very dark. And everyone's like, oh, it relied on jump scares. I don't think it relied on it. I think it was the ones that used were very fucking well done, and that's why they stood out. And then the ambience it built in some of the scenes was just well planned,
Even that
and it
back
delivered.
sounding track hit.
Mm-hmm. It
Was good. I
yeah,
can agree with that.
and if you want the timeline of the films, it's The Nun, Annabelle Creation, Annabelle, Conjuring, Annabelle Comes Home, The Curse of La Llorona, The Conjuring 2, and The Conjuring The Devil Made Me Do It, which is the last two I believe are TBA. No, those two are out. It's the Nun sequel is to be announced, and they're working on another spinoff called The Crooked Man.
That
Is that
one
gonna
I
be like
do kind of
Slenderman?
watch.
I want to
No.
see that one.
Right?
Because I actually enjoy the story of the Crooked Man. I think that one will be fun.
Yeah, that is an interesting story, and I can't wait to see that. But when it comes to those series, I definitely want to give them a second chance and actually watch them chronologically, and maybe I'll actually have a different opinion after.
When you get a little bit of context, it starts to fit together a lot easier. I am obsessed with these kind of movies, so when I saw them, I was just kind of all right. You guys know how I am when I get into new video games. I did the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
So, and it was funny because I felt bad when I went to see it because me and my uncle went, and besides us, there was 4 other people in theater total, and it was like opening week. I felt terrible because they did not give that movie enough credit. It was very well done, but is what it is. Like, can't please everybody, and it's very hard to make successful horror movies in modern times.
Yeah, I
True.
feel the horror
Yeah,
movies,
true.
especially ones like that, hit a niche audience.
Yo, right here.
Yeah.
Like this guy right there.
Like I'll always be down for horror movies. I love the entirety of the genre that incorporates horror. And it's just with some of these movies that have come out, I'll leave titles out of it, but we've touched upon a couple of them. It just felt like you lost the mark to where instead of like with your Jason Voorhees and your Freddy Krueger's, where I'm actually terrified of like the character on screen, to where it's devolved into jump scares and funny moments, like with the second It movie of the remastered series.
Mhm.
They had stand up comedians as cast, and it's supposed to be a horror movie, and I'm like, so I'm expected to laugh at this, but it's supposed to be scary, and so I guess
Yeah.
that's where it's
I
lost
thought
on
the
me.
original was a comedy. That might just be me.
And that's what I'm talking about. It's like when I see the cast, and my first mindset is like, oh, they have this dude on here. This is gonna be funny. Completely forgetting the fact that this is supposed to be a scary horror movie, and I'm like, something's not right here.
Also, I haven't seen the new It movies. Hasn't interested me at all.
The storyline itself is deep, and it's actually really cool. But don't go into it with the mindset of like this is gonna be absolutely terrifying. Go into it with this is gonna be funny, because it is funny.
Well, again, I didn't even go into the old ones thinking they were going to be terrifying. I love the old ones. They were just, like I said, I was a kid too, so I wouldn't
Tim
expect that
Curry's
of
a
a new
treasure.
one. Exactly, that's what I'm saying. But
It's kind of
yeah, I'm sorry. I love Tim Curry. That man is a gift.
it's
But
hard to take him seriously when he's the dad from the Wild Thornberrys.
yeah,
Among other
you
things.
know, among a lot of other things. But yes,
Rocky
you are
Horror.
correct. Moving on. God, what a what a fascinating man Tim Curry is. Oh,
Gem treasure.
gem. But yeah, no, like I said, I don't know what it is about the new It's. They just did not interest me at all.
It really didn't hit. The first one was okay. The second one definitely, I would say, it was worse.
Was it?
And yeah, it wasn't as good as the first remake, and the remakes definitely weren't as good as the originals.
That's interesting.
Like the first one was was pretty all right. Like it wasn't terrible, but I wouldn't add it to like my list of like uh this is gonna be fantastic, and I'm gonna remember this forever. But then the second one comes out, and it was well, I don't want to say even worse. Like the movie production itself sucked, but it definitely was straying further and further away from what the benchmark of horror should be.
Oh, that's interesting.
But that brings us to, I would like to say, our last segment of this episode, fellas. An odd horror movie that sticks with you.
Again, do I have to only say one?
You can say a couple if you want to.
Fuck. Where do I even
It's like you
start?
put me in a tight spot here.
So I've watched a lot of horror movies in my life. And I don't even want to say it because it's not even a good movie. Correction, there's two really odd horror movies that really come to my mind. And they're Sleepaway Camp and Jennifer's Body.
Okay, those are two odd movies.
Those are two odd
Wait.
movies.
Jennifer's Body. That's the one with Megan Fox, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Why? Well, I don't like the way you said that. But
Fuck
those
off.
are two odd.
I was young
horror
when
movies.
Transformers came out.
Okay. Anyways, have you guys seen either of those?
I've never seen any of them.
What was the first one that you listed?
Did I see Jennifer's Body first, or did I?
Did
No, you said-
Sleepaway Camp first.
Oh,
I
I said
have-
Sleepaway Camp first. Yeah.
I haven't seen Sleepaway Camp, and if I have seen Jennifer's Body, I do not remember a thing about it. But I
They
definitely
were
have heard the name
odd.
Jennifer's Body.
Yeah.
I don't know. I couldn't even describe to you what Jennifer's Body was about. I just remember watching it as a kid and just being like, "What the actual hell am I watching?" Like genuinely, like I get what it's kind of trying to do, where it's kind of like in its most simplest form, it's dealing. At least at the time, I haven't watched that movie in probably 12 years at least, so I couldn't really remember off the top of my head. It kind of dealt with like an issue of like body and self-image and stuff from what I remember, but like it was odd. And then Sleepaway Camp is just a mess for a number of reasons. Why I watched it, still don't know to this day, but it will forever remain in my brain for being probably one of the worst and weirdest movies that I can still watch and just be like, why? Why am I still watching this? It does have one of my favorite lines ever written in it, which is someone says eat shit and die, and the guy, or the kid I should say, responds with eat shit and live, Bill. And that is probably one of my favorite comebacks I've ever heard in my
Ooh,
life.
that's very sick, man.
That's pretty good. That is a good comeback, but everything else about that movie is terrible.
Hell yeah. Then I guess I'll have to give Jennifer's Body a watch just one more time to see if I did actually see this. Because the only thing I remember is Megan Fox is in it, and apparently she was a complete total shit ass.
It's like a monster or something. Like I said, it's been like 12 years since I've seen that. At
She's
least.
possessed by a demon.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
That movie is so weird.
Alright, so, Mikey?
Actually, that and Scream 3. That movie was odd. Fuck that movie. Go on.
The Scream series is an entity in its own right.
God, I could do a whole episode on the Scream series. I fucking love that shit.
Alright, then Mikey, odd horror movie for you.
Okay. This movie has has two parts. Luckily, both the same thing, so we're not too worried about it. Does anyone know the name Uwe Boll by chance, the director?
No.
No. Okay. Good. Uwe Boll is a German filmmaker. Guy is a genius in my mind, and he takes on very interesting projects. You guys know some of them as old school games because he does adaptations of them. Familiar names: Far Cry, Blood Rain, and the last one, and the more notable one that is the one I'm going to bring up: House of the Motherfucking Dead. It's on another episode. I'm never letting it go. They did a live action adaptation of my favorite rail shooter of all time, not Resident Evil, Frasier, fucker.
Yeah, because that's a rail shooter.
Yeah. Anyways, in 2010, they made a House of the Dead movie. Has anybody heard of it?
Yes.
Yes,
Is
I've
it-
heard of it, never watched it.
What about you, DJ? You seen it?
No, I've heard it. Like, again, I was losing my mind when you guys told me that there was any House of the Dead movie. And I'm like, okay, I've heard of this, but I didn't know.
So in
Good,
2003,
bad movie.
oh, it's terrible. The basic premise is a bunch of kids go to a island to go to a rave Sego is hosting. And when they get there, everything's abandoned and it's all trashed like there was a wild party. So they start drinking out of the taps that are still taps and cans that are just sitting on the ground because, that's normal. And then
In the time? Yeah.
they start getting chased by zombies, and then they make friends with the smuggler and a cop, and the smuggler had a whole briefcase full of guns, and they start going to war with the zombie army. And it turns out instead of a mad scientist, it was a pirate who was also a scientist 300 years ago who discovered immortality and raised an army of zombies. And they do the whole scene. This is where that scene from Doom originated from, where it cuts to the first person perspective of the game. Sorry, I'm yelling. I got notified by people outside of the room. It does that thing where they get first person perspective like you're shooting from the game, and when the gunshots go off, the muzzle flash triggers the world to blink out, and you're seeing the screenshots of the House the Dead video game, and they do a 5-minute action sequence like Charlie's Angels in this style. It is horrific. It is a fever dream, but it's a good watch, and it's so enjoyable. And in 2005, they renewed it to do a second one. And I believe this one had a different director. And it's a totally off the rails premise. Takes place on a college campus. And the only reason it stands out is the cast. Because, yes, there are some talented actors, but none of them hold a candle to Sticky Fingers or Sid Haig, who really steal the show from everybody else.
Oh, rest in peace, King. Captain
Rest
Spaulding.
in peace.
The man, the myth, the legend himself.
I got to meet him once at a convention. He is so cool.
God,
Really?
I bet he was. Dude, I had a serious presence. He can project everything on screen at once. But yeah, that's my 2 cents. Those 2 movies are the most B tier, off brand anything you could have. But they're fun. They're good guilty pleasure watch.
Yeah, speaking of Sid Haig, I'm surprised none of us even thought of House Without the Corpses. Anything to deal with that franchise. That shit was awesome.
I don't want to say they're my favorite, but they're definitely good.
Yeah.
And I never saw anything outside the first 2.
I think there's only
Fair.
one more next, and it's like At Hell's Gate or some shit. All right, but Brandon, an odd horror movie for you that you remember.
From the top of my head, have you ever heard of this horror movie called From Beyond?
No.
No, but I can believe it though.
It was a weird movie that came up in the 80s, and it had a lot of Lovecraft kind of feel to it, and I don't know, it kind of gave me like The Thing vibes,
Okay.
It was it had a lot of body horror and stuff like that, like weird mutations, people fucking mutated or their fucking skins melting, that type of shit. Like, it was a weird one. I didn't get through the whole thing. I think I stopped like 3/4 of the way through and I had lost interest, but it definitely was a weird one that kind of still stuck with me.
All right.
Damn, how am I not seeing this? I'm just reading the
I might
basic description. It looks sick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to watch this shit.
And then, last but not least for me, because it's technically supposed to be a sequel off of a family-friendly movie.
Oh no.
Oh, good.
Jack
Oh,
Frost
no.
2, Revenge of the
Oh,
Mutant Killer
no.
Snowman.
Oh no. Fuck you.
The movie was just
hate-
so weird, especially watching Jack Frost and thinking that was actually a pretty good movie. Then this bastardization comes out. I'm like, no shot. They turned him into a murderous clown.
I hate
sorry,
that I
Murder
knew what you were
Snowman.
gonna say. I hate that.
Like, as soon as you heard family-friendly spin-off, it's like, oh no,
I hate it here.
he's bringing up the old text,
It was
Someone
either
vote
that
me
or a
off the
Banana
island.
Sports movie.
dude.
This goes against everything I read in the Codex.
I don't want to. I can't. I can't.
Guy gets traumatized after killing a snowman, goes on family vacation. Then the FBI resurrects that snowman. Snowman goes to the man's resort to seek revenge after coating the island in snow.
Yeah.
My God,
Oh, fuck, man. What the hell
was
is that
such a-
movie?
it's such a comical travesty. Jack Frost 2: Revenge of the Mutant Killer Snowman. and the cover is as ridiculous as it seems.
Why was that? Who greenlit that?
We have extra money. What should we do with it? Let's bring the snowman back and have him do
Please,
weird.
Donate it to
just,
charity. Do something better.
I swear that has to be the reason, because who the hell would greenlight this?
That's
I
why
don't-
I found the movie so stupid, but it was supposed to be a horror movie, and I remembered it forever. I can't remember too much specifics about it, but I'm like, dude, this came out 20 years ago, and I still remember it like I saw it yesterday.
I hate it here.
I'm looking at little like pictures from looking up on fucking Google, and I'm just like, just the memories of this horrible travesty is coming into my head.
I'm refusing to look it up. I refuse to remember this.
That's why I find it funny. And I'm like, these guys got awesome good ones that people might want to look into, and I just come in with a complete and total train wreck.
You want to know a complete total train wreck? Ugh. Mikey reminded me of it when he said the word rave. Mikey, you remember the movie Rave to the Grave?
What are you talking about? The movie was a masterpiece.
It was, but it was a train wreck.
It was.
We have differing
Brothers gonna
opinions
fight
here.
lately.
No, trust me. I love the movie. It is so good. But man.
Okay, I'll give you this. The first scene, that dialogue is god awful, and then it just takes off 0 to 100 so fast.
Oh man, we could do a whole episode on bad horror movies. Oh,
We'll have to save that one for another day, gentlemen. Any closing statements, Mikey?
Ah, man, this episode's been too much fun. I've such a ridiculous passion for horror movies, and anybody in the comment section who wants to recommend like off the wall shit, like things that wouldn't, as you've heard, we've listed some oddball titles. So if you got that weird shit, send it my way, please.
Hell yeah. Adrian, closing statements?
yo, I know I'm not the only one that's hyped about Hellraiser. We need more. I don't care that there's so many movies. I need more. I can't wait. I'm so excited. I want to see them both. I need them now. Also,
Sure.
watch Monster Truck.
All right, and then Brandon?
I need a movie night at this point. Goddamn.
Very true.
Correction.
Very true.
We need a movie night at this point.
Seriously, fucking hop into a fucking voice call and do this shit. Goddamn.
Heck yeah.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that'll do it for us this evening. There's some buttons in the comment section down below. Do whatever the hell you want with them. And we will see you guys in the next one.